Well, good evening and welcome to My Psychic Connection. I'm your host, Journey Ryan. It is Thursday night. And what do you have in your sleeping, beautiful minds? Well, tonight, Marin is going to talk about those things that I just mentioned. Hi, Marin. How are you?
Hi, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. We're here. It's Dream Interpretations. We got a bunch of people that were wanting to talk about their dreams the other night, and I was telling everybody, yeah, don't forget to show up on Thursdays to get your dreams interpreted, because that is the show.
I'm so happy that there's interest, and people are anxious to explore the language of dreams.
Absolutely.
I thought I would just throw out a tidbit.
Sure.
When you send in your questions, try and be as detailed as possible. Have a snippet so that we can work within the time frame, but just try and provide as much detail as you can, because I do ask a lot of questions. And the reason why I do that is because the context, I'm trying to get to the context of your dream. It isn't my dream. I want to bring forth whatever it is that the dream world is trying to communicate with you, that language. One tidbit that I thought I would throw out: if you have dreams of animals, for example, try and think about what the animal means to you. For example, a bear is something bearing down. Think about, are bears scary? Are they warm and fuzzy? Then I would wonder, who is like unbearable, or who is bearable in waking life? So those are the kind of dream puns that that images bring up, and so I just thought I would suggest that to help you.
All right. Well, guys, this is Dream Interpretations tonight. So if you had a psychic question, please save that for us for tomorrow night. Will be myself, Gifts of Faith, and Trinity Black, giving you guys readings for a couple hours. We did talk last night. We may do a 3-hour show for you guys tomorrow, so definitely get ready for that. Just like our psychic shows, the Dream Interpretation show, we are doing Jump the List. So if you'd like to donate and jump the list, you are more than welcome to. You can find that right here. Let me go ahead and post that for everybody so they have the link in order to jump the list if they choose to do so. Everybody who's saying hi, we are putting you on the list. I seen one of you said not don't have a dream to share, but is definitely here just to listen. That's okay. We don't mind.
Welcome. Yeah.
We welcome everybody. But we got a hi from Ann Starr and Hope and Emily that says, I'm just here to listen. Well, thanks, Emily, and Ann and Sarah and a couple other people. Ooh, watching from Australia. Gotta love Australia. All right. Hey, we got everybody up here trying to tell us about those dreams. Now, remember, guys, if you click the donate button, give us a second. We will look it over, and then if we have somebody already, we're talking to them about their dream, we will get back to yours. So if there's no present like the Karen, are you ready to take that first dream on, Marin?
Yes.
All
Very
right. Well, let's do it, guys. Are we ready? Is everybody else ready? Because our first question does come from YouTube, from Christina, and says, hello, I had a dream last night which doesn't make sense to me. In the dream last night, I was in the backyard of my grandma's house, and it was night, and the sky was 6 or 7 full moons bright, as can be. Some were big, some were small, and the sky was clear, and there were stars too. I remember saying, what a beautiful night, and then I don't know what happened, but I woke up after that.
there are several things that come to my mind immediately. And one of them is being in the backyard of your grandmother's house. So is your grandmother passed, or is she still alive? So this is a dream that takes place at night. Um, Now I wrote down, and sorry, I make notes as I read the screen. The first screen, Ryan, it says they're full moons.
Yes, let me pull that back
Thank
up
you.
for you so you can see that.
Some were big and some were small. And it was night, and in the sky were 6 or 7 full moons. So what I think of moons is cycles. And, full moons. Okay, so the word lunatic comes from lunar. And so during a full moon time, we're kind of crazy because the full moon, has the draw of our emotional self. But in this dream, I'm just wondering if it's generations. I also think of moons as the grandmother moon or the mother moon. I think of moon as deep thoughts and feelings coming to face our deep, in the tarot deck, the full moon or the moon card, there's, I think, a lobster coming up from the depths. Is it like a crustacean coming up from the depths? And there's a wolf and a dog. And the story where it's the wild side and then the domestic side. Which side is going to win? It's the one you feed. So there's a lot of full moon imagery that's coming up for me. Some were big, some were small, and it's at night. So that's why I'm wondering, is it generations? Is it emotional feelings that are being brought to light? Full moons, hunters or hikers, you can hike or walk by the light of the moon. So, but it's still dark. So that maybe I need some more, because I'm wondering what in waking life is bringing up a lot of what's being brought to light. And the fact that it's 6 or 7, that when I look at numbers in dreams, the number 6 is the double, I think it's a spiritual number. It's 3 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So it's maiden, mother, crone, the Holy Ghost, anyway, it's that.
Son of the Holy
Yeah.
Ghost.
But there's, yeah. And so it's that double 3. Also, 7 in our Western culture is a lucky number. And so, there's things with numbers that are coming up as well. Because 6 is a spiritual number, in the number 7 in the Buddhist tradition, it takes 7 days to, when someone passes and then they go into nirvana. And on the 7th day, you have a ceremony. And then on the 49th day, you have a ceremony, and you're crossing over. So that's why this dream is kind of bringing out the inner essence, our crustacean side, our deep emotion. And then some were big, some were small. What is coming to light? I hope that's resonating somehow.
right. I'm not seeing a response at the moment from her.
That's amazing, though. That the 6 or 7 full moons.
Exactly.
So that really, yeah, brings up a lot of. I also do moon ceremony, and you know, we thank the mother moon or the grandmother moon, and you know, so I tell a story about navigating by the light of the moon. So anyway, that thank you for bringing that forth. That's really beautiful.
Amazing. All right. Let's get back over here. I was checking something out because YouTube was having an issue. And that's where she was in YouTube.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. YouTube was having an issue or something to that nature. All right. So, Christina, thank you so much for that dream. It's the moons is very fascinating to me. So, all right. Well, let's keep on going here, and we're going to take our next question. Now, guys that are coming in, we are writing your guys' names and putting you on the list. Megan, we got you on the list. Jen, we got you on the list. And Hope, you are on the list as well. So just hang in there as we get to each and everybody's dreams, okay? All right. Just want to let everybody know. All right. So next one comes from YouTube from Virgo Queen. Virgo Queen says, "Hi, everyone. I had a dream. I don't know what it means or why I had it, so here I am." In my dream, I was outside my old house, but around me were actors from my very favorite soap opera, and one girl started shooting one of the bad guys, and she was pretty much used up all her bullets to try to kill the guy, but it was like he was still alive. And anyway, I don't know why, but I ended up getting shot at, but the bullet didn't do anything to me. Oh, and all of this happened in the daytime in my dream. Do you need the first part?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm seeing a soap opera, you know, actors
Yes.
from a soap opera. So if you think about it, you know, dreams can offer puns, and it can represent something about ourselves or something in waking life. So the questions I would ask is, are there people in waking life that are actors, that are kind of overacting? Soap operas can be exaggerated. They can be a little more sensational. So I'm just wondering, where's the drama coming from? And it's an old house, outside an old house. It makes me think of outside my old self. You know, if I tend to look at a house as representing our bodies, but you're outside of an old house. However, being outside the old self, there are actors. And so it makes me wonder, are these people genuine? In waking life, did you meet someone new, but there was something not quite right? There was something soapy or something that was, you know, over exaggerated? And then if you flip to the next panel there, there's a girl that is shooting. But the gun, the bullet has no effect. but it was like he was still alive. And so if there is a girl shooting at a bad guy, but used up all her bullets to try and kill him, but he was still alive. So the bullets aren't very effective. So I'm wondering, in waking life, am I shooting at someone, or am I trying to get a point across? And this person, I'm not too crazy about this person. This is a bad guy, and I'm trying to get something across. I'm trying to get my idea across, and it's not being very effective. Or is someone shooting at me? Is there, somebody is shooting at me, trying to get a point across, and I'm not waking up to it. So I like to bring both sides, because the dream can be parts of our own selves. They can be parts of our own psyche. So we can be the bad guy. We can be the one that's doing the shooting. We can be the one that's being shot at. So that's why and especially the actors. And I'm just sensing some kind of conflict in waking life. What is, who is acting, or are you in a situation where you feel like you have to kind of act? And, another way to look at it is, I'm really sick of this. I'm going to start shooting, to really make it, to get a point across. So somehow this gun, the bullets, are really not being effective. And that's why I wonder, what is it that needs to be communicated or received in communication that needs to be a little more effective?
Nice.
I hope that helps.
Absolutely.
Just a side note, I've been shot in dreams,
Have
and
you?
I actually died.
Oh,
It's like, it
yeah.
was, there she is. And this guy just came out and shot me. And again, I was lucid enough to take that bullet,
Right.
to take that bullet. And it was, in the dream, my death was to wake up to something that was going on in my waking life. And what I was denying was this kind of intuitiveness, or this kind of dream imagery-ness.
Nice.
And again, in my generation, people would say, oh, it's a dream and you're being ridiculous. So that's why I never really talked about my dreams. But it took a bullet, to wake me up
Right.
to talk about them. So anyway, I found a little similarity there with the bullet. But this one isn't being effective.
Right.
So that's what I wonder about.
She was unaffected by the drama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's something about that soap opera.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Virgo Queen, for your dream tonight. And I'm hoping that we were able to give you something out of that. And we're going to go ahead and take our next question is from Jasmine, and then we have Ann Star, and then Hope. All right, so let's go ahead and take Jasmine. It says, hi, yesterday I dreamt of a ghost who was after me. We ran, and after a long time, she was able to catch us, but wasn't able to kill us. I killed that ghost, and she became Goodwood.
Okay. So it looks like this ghost is a female, is the feminine. And this ghost, we ran, and after a long time, She was able to catch us, but wasn't able to kill us. And yet, the dreamer killed the ghost. And she became a good ghost. So, you know, what I'm doing is I'm just kind of verbalizing what comes up for me. There are ghosts in our closet. There are ghosts in our past, maybe.
Mhm.
And so what does the ghost mean? Uh-oh, is this?
Yes, this is Jasmine. She says, "Could you please tell me why I sometimes dream of relatives and never think of, and are they doing or planning something bad?"
So I think, is this a different issue? Is this
I feel
because
like it kind of coincides with what she's talking about too. It's like ghosts and then family members coming into the dream.
that I never think of. So that's why ghosts of the past,
Mm-hmm.
are they doing or planning something bad? How do you know that? So that makes me think, and I know I've kind of suggested in your past shows, Ryan, that sometimes to face the ghost and ask, are you planning something? Are you planning something bad? What's up with that? You know, the fact that it seems like there was a turning around and killing the ghost. So if I look at ghosts in my past, am I killing off something that has been ghosting me? You know, am I killing off something that has been chasing me? And I'm just turning around and saying, okay, that's it. Sorry. But then what I'm seeing is I dream of relatives I never think of. So in the dream, what are the relatives doing? What's the behavior of the relative? And like I've mentioned before, this is my belief, but relatives that have passed, are dreams of relatives I never think of, are they still living? Because people who have passed are, well, generally in my world, they're in nirvana, and they are guides. They are saying hi. They're just kind of visiting. But okay, so their normal behavior. So that's what the relatives are doing. And yes, they are still living. So that's why I wonder why I would ask the question, are they planning to do something bad? Is there a ghost in your past that, you know, just has a feeling that something is planning, or something is feeling bad, and it's coming up as a ghost? Because these relatives are just behaving normally. They're not freaking anything out. They're not, you know, they're not acting wild. They're pretty normal. So that's why I would wonder, what ghost is in my past? And why am I thinking that something is being planned, or something bad is being planned? I think the action of taking control, turning around and shooting the ghost, you know, that's pretty okay, enough already. But
Right.
at the same time, I would also wonder who this ghost is, and why are you chasing me? Because it seemed like that bad part of the ghost was shot or killed. And then now there's what developed is the good ghost. Do you see what I mean? In my dream, ghost and relatives both were present. So the ghost became a good ghost after you shot it. Then is it the good ghost that is appearing with the relatives together? So what is the good ghost trying to communicate? Or is the relatives trying to get your attention by bringing in this good ghost? You know, maybe if I'm trying to communicate, I'm going to bring in something to get your attention. So it seems like it's a good ghost. I think I would want to ask the ghost, what is this? What is this message? What are you trying to reveal to me? What message are you bringing forth? You know, I killed the bad part of it, but now you're the good part of it. So what's being presented? Okay, if you were unfamiliar with the ghost, I would want to get familiar with the ghost.
Yeah.
I'm curious now, you know, why is this ghost present? And it's a good ghost. As I read, and I kind of made a note here that that the bad part was killed, and now it's a good ghost. So I would kind of want to know, because dreams also have mentors, and you know, there's some medicine. And I'm just wondering what this ghost is bringing forth.
Absolutely.
I hope that helps.
She says, yes, I extracted that bad part.
Okay. So that is taking ownership. That's taking, you know, that is having control over the part of me that is, I do not desire that bad part. Or in other people, I do not desire that bad part. I want to extract the good part. So that is, you know, that's a way of taking a hold of that dream. Now I would want to get to know the ghost.
Absolutely. All right. Well,
I hope that helps.
absolutely. Well, Ann Starr did say that she also doesn't have a question. She's just listening. So thanks, Ann, for listening. We appreciate it. But Hope was next in line and had a dream to share. Hope says, I had a dream of my brothers telling me to be careful, but I don't understand what they want me to be careful about. It was a cold dream, and they had on all black clothing. Please help me understand what to be careful for.
I was cold. So you were cold in the dream? And they had on black clothing. Okay. Black means different things to different people. If you look in, you know, the symbology of the color black, you know, black holes, they contain everything. Now, there are beliefs that, yes, it was a cold. Okay, so you were cold in the dream. Okay. That's how I'm reading it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you're reading it, Brian?
Yes.
Okay.
She says they have passed away.
Your brothers.
Yes.
Okay. Um, um, I don't think they're your brothers. I'm sorry. I'm wondering if this is a psychic kind of thing, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem that they're your brothers. I'm wondering if it's someone in waking life that appears to be like your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Or can it be the masculine side of ourselves? You know, we have that feminine and we have a masculine side of ourselves. It's something in waking life reminding me of a brother kind of thing, and it's scaring me, and I'm feeling cold. So I'm sorry, I don't really see your brothers come to you in a way like this. I'm wondering,
She's
oh,
lost 3 brothers within 2 years. There were my brother's face. They were my brother's faces.
so if I may ask, was this a medical type of illness or was it through an accident? Um, and I think, you know, we're going to get kind of esoteric with this.
Yes.
But, you know, how do I say this? We experience trauma within ourselves. Okay, so there were illnesses and there were accidents. So, you know, I'm kind of sensing an inner trauma, an inner turmoil, an inner coldness of losing family, and especially the circumstances of how they're lost. As far as, you know, I still, I mean, because, you know, again, normally people who have passed over, you know, they either come back and they say, how are you? It's really okay. You know, I'm thinking about you. I'm just wondering what in waking life has reminded you of that time when a relative has passed and now it feels cold. And now, you know, my own psyche is now wondering what is going on. What should I be careful about? So that's why, you know, I don't know if you're sensing this, Ryan, as well.
Right.
But I'm sensing it's like a trauma kind of dream, you know. Um, and I because I see relatives, I don't know. I mean, maybe people have had dreams about relatives in a not so loving way.
Right.
But my experience and what I've heard from other people when there's a visitation, it's generally helpful. You know,
Right.
it's not kind of that what's that movie, A Christmas Carol, where Bob
Yeah.
Marley comes back, ah, and sings, you know.
Right. It's not like that, but
Yeah,
the
not
psychic
really.
energy that I picked up with it was the warning of losing oneself,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
that's what I felt as though that she felt as though she was losing herself, but losing. There's a lot of loss with the brothers, so the brothers' faces appeared what was a representation of loss.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then they were warning her to be careful because she was losing herself in their loss. So I feel like this is, you know, the representation of the brothers wasn't really the brothers, but her reflecting her inner self, which was
Thank
cold.
you. That,
So,
yeah, you explained it a
yeah,
lot better than I did. Like I said,
that
I
makes
didn't see the
sense.
brothers. Yeah, yeah. So, so So thank you very much, Ryan.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's that trauma of how a person, left. And that's our inner selves that's being worked out.
Mm-hmm.
So and it can be very dark, but then look at all aspects of the color black, because the color black contains everything. The color black is, when you close your eyes, it just contains everything. Light, yes, shines light on everything, but black just brings you back into your own soul and makes you think about things. That's the color black for me. I hope, yes, thank you. I'm glad that it made sense.
All right. Well, Hope, thank you so much for
Amazing.
that. And remember, the dream is the warning in which you got was to not lose yourself, and that the loss in your family too is not overpowering who you are in waking life. And I feel as though that you're feeling that because the brothers aren't there, that your family's not seeing you and you're alive and you're there. So you're feeling less appreciated, and that more focus is drawn on them as well. So there was the brothers came as like a double, and that's what the black represents to me, is like it's not just losing oneself, but in the dream, but losing oneself in the waking life, and in many aspects, not just oh, I feel depressed about this because I got lost, but losing my mother, my father, everybody's energy.
Not being
There's no
able to
focus on me,
appreciate.
right?
Yeah. Things look really black. Yeah, that kind of the pun.
The dark, right,
Yeah.
right. That's where I got that. She said, "Thank you guys so much. No problem. Thank you, Hope, with that dream." All right, Emily did say she didn't have a dream, but then changed her mind. So let's get to Emily here. All right. She said something up here. Let's find it real quick. Emily says, I changed my mind. I do want to talk about a dream I had a few months ago. So just put me at the bottom of the list, laugh out loud. No, you're right there. And there she is. She says, so there's a dream that I have pretty often. The last time was a few months ago. In the dream, I wrecked at the bottom of a very steep hill at a creek. Every single time I've had the dream, my spirit is standing back watching friends of mine. I used to be in the fire department with them. They tried to rescue me and they can't get me out of the car. I have such a fear of it now that if I go down the road, I make my husband drive. I refuse because in the dream, I am driving when it happens.
So you were in the fire department.
Yes.
This dream reminds me of when we drive. It's a way of getting from point A to point B. And it is a, where am I going? And in the dream, when I had something for this and it just slipped my mind. When we drive a car and we just don't know what's happening, we're out of control. That's where it feels like a wreck. And it's feeling very steep. It's feeling very, very frightening, I would say. But the spirit is standing back, watching friends, and they can't get me out of the car. But the spirit, your spirit is outside, So, you know, I'm looking at the spirit as a mentor, a guide, some kind of healing. And this is the kind of dream that I would go back and journal and come up, right, okay. And the spot, okay. So you were a firefighter. Now, okay, may I see the second part? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay, and is it actually a place that you go by regularly? So did something happen in that particular spot that brings up a particular feeling? Now, I've talked about, um, dreams that first responders, that emergency workers have had, people that have been at war, and then they have these anxiety dreams, they have trauma dreams. This is the kind of thing that, sometimes, I have referred to therapy or to group therapy, someone who is versed in the dream language. Because this is a process that in the dream, and I'm just going to say this briefly, that a person can get in the car and then get up to the moment of that particular spot, stop and wake up. Or get in the car and wait a minute, I'm losing control of the car, and then in the dream, slowing the car down. Then the next time, in the car, slowing down, and then have it not be a steep hill. So this is a way of processing out the dream, reimagining a way of solving this dream or fixing the dream so that it's not a traumatic kind of experience. Sometimes I think this helps because as we come up to that spot, then we've reimagined, actually, this place is okay. I'm not going to wreck in this place. So this is a process. It's journaling, talking about it with someone who is versed in dream therapy, talking to a psychologist in a group. Okay, so you've had some bad calls in that spot. Okay, so that's what it's triggering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's triggering in that spot. Now, believe me, this is a practice, and I can only talk about what I've done, what I've experienced. I experienced a very traumatic issue with a family member, and this person was being kidnapped, and so I had to sit down, and I was with a very knowledgeable dream therapist who was very knowledgeable about the language, and she actually had me reimagine getting out of the car, finding this person, and before you knew it, I had the person in a log cabin, and we were lighting a fire and having hot chocolates. And this is working out a very traumatic dream. So, yeah, I really encourage you to journal it, draw it out, really meditate on that particular spot. Go there and sit and light some incense, bring some flowers with you, change the scene so that it doesn't become stuck in that dream brain imagery where it plays old movies. I hope I hope that helps. It is a process, and I'm really encouraging. Journal it out, talk it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a difficult. That's an honorable, difficult profession, and it's worth it. It's worth it. Yes.
That sounds great. I'll definitely journal and do these things. Thank you so much. Well, you are welcome, Emily. Thank you so much for that dream and those triggers that you're having. You are subconsciously trying to. I feel like you're really trying to get past that in your life, but you're.
But there's a steep hill. Yeah, yeah,
It's hard to get up that hill, but
yeah, yeah. So, but there's friends. There's that spirit side.
Mhm.
So there's some medicine there to work with.
Absolutely. All right, Anne. After Anne, we've got Sarah and then Leah. And so, Anne, are you still with us? Anne posts, I had a dream that my niece and nephew are in danger of drowning in somewhere with dirty water, something like a drain or like that. I'm trying to save them, but cannot find them in the water.
Okay, they're drowning in dirty water.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a niece and nephew. So there's the feminine and the masculine. Now, are these young children or are they older? But I mean, the way I read it is it's a brother or sister's children. So now we're going this generation, and then we're going across and down to niece and nephew. In somewhere with dirty water.
So 5-year twins.
Okay, so they're 5 years old. Again, we have a dual nature here, and niece and nephew. So it's the younger part of this imagery is presenting a younger generation. Once removed, it's a niece and nephew. Okay, I'm trying to get where the dirty water is coming in, and it's in a drain. So how did they fall down into a drain? How is this? I mean, I'm seeing, is it circling? Are they circling down a drain, but it's dirty water? I feel like I need to know a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't able to save them?
She couldn't find them.
Oh, she couldn't.
I don't know what's coming to light in waking life except for. Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's.
That was. I thought it was Anne, but it was Christina.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering, it's somewhere with a drain.
Mm-hmm.
But the water is dirty.
Right.
So is it rushing water? Is it standing water? There's something cloudy about this water. There's something that is not very cleansing, in other words, not providing sufficient hydration. So what in waking life feels dirty? And what part of our younger self that it isn't necessarily.
This is the first one I ran to find them in something like a reservoir. I kept putting my hands in and couldn't find them, still water.
Okay, so it's in still water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So like a reservoir. I'm feeling like I'm reaching for something and I can't find it. What in waking life am I reaching for? Is there some part of me?
Second one was a dream which lid opened and one
And
fell
one
down.
fell down. So again, I'm kind of looking at the masculine and feminine, the once removed, that child part of ourselves. Something is not clean. Something is dirty. It's not refreshing. And I can't seem to find it. I think this needs a little bit, okay, the ground was flooded and second one fell down. So the boy went in first and then the girl followed. So the children were seen and then they slipped away. Wow.
I have something to ask here because as she's saying this, I keep seeing the mind is trying to process something about the niece and nephew and wondering if something has happened to them. And I feel like this is a very guardian, and that the water is talking about the impurities of what she is thinking in waking life that might have happened to them.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious: is there? Do you feel that there's something there? That you're missing something and you can't quite grasp it, and I think that's what the hand's for.
Yeah.
And it's making me wonder that. So, and she says, yes, I seen them both. So to answer your question, but I'm curious as to if that is part of it because it just keeps pulling me back to her waking life, out of the dream, back into the waking life. She says, I sometimes dream of things that happen in different ways.
Is this with the niece and nephew? I mean, are you a guardian? That's a really good point, Ryan. Are you a guardian to these two young children?
Mm-hmm.
And
I just felt there is some danger for them. That's what I was getting.
okay,
It was outside of the waking light.
so yeah, I'm wondering if there's a sensing that
Mm-hmm.
something dirty may be happening.
She said, in general.
And so yeah, I would wonder about the relationship with them and with the situation that they're in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, without getting too much into, the personal issue of families. So I'm wondering if the dream is bringing up, there's something dirty going on. It's rather emotional.
Mm-hmm.
They're with me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And like your kids. So that's why now I'm feeling a little sadness. I'm wondering what's happening in their young lives that that perhaps as a guardian you're sensing, and it's hard to reach for it. So yeah, there's something more there.
Yeah, I got that the guardian side of her is picking up on something that the kids quite aren't saying that can the involve Anne as to not quite grasping what's happening to the kids because there's an
Yeah.
audience there. There's an energy that's misplaced, and her guardian self is saying, I'm going to bring you with me, but I can't get you. There's things in my way for me to take you with me, so I
Yeah.
can't quite get to you.
And it's not clear,
Right.
the water is
What
not
it is.
clear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was picking up.
And if anything, I hope this dream is bringing forth this language to
Mhm.
ask, in waking life, what's not clear? What am I sensing?
Mhm.
So, I'm hoping that that's what the dream. They
They stay
stay
away
away.
from someone's house. Sometimes behavior has gotten aggressive.
Okay. So I would look at the dream as thank you for making me aware there's something there. And that's what our dream world does. It will, you know, it will represent it in different ways. And it depends on what water means to you. For me, it means emotion. Um, and so there's something about it that's not quite right. And now the dream world is bringing it up. So I'm wondering if that's something to be investigated in waking life.
Absolutely.
I hope that helps a little bit.
So they live with their parents. Don't think it's at home. But you're being aware of something, and that's what
Yeah,
the
it's
cloudy
something.
water is.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm. The dirty water's not giving you a clear sense of what's going on, but the dream is telling you that you are correct and why the aggressive behavior has started, but you can't quite pinpoint where that's why you're not getting them while you're trying to receive them. As Marin was saying, is like this is you will get it, but the dream is trying to
yeah,
basically reassure you that you are correct, but continue to keep your eye out.
yeah. It's pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe this needs to be dealt with
Mm-hmm.
now in waking life.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Anne, so much for your dream tonight, and hopefully this gave you clarity and actually reassured you that you what you were feeling is correct, and even in your dream, it's reassuring you you are right. Stay on track.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Sarah Bennett, are you still with us, Sarah and Layla? Sarah and Layla. Let me get Sarah to talk about her dream. And I actually think Sarah had a question, if I remember correctly. Her question's up here. Um, let's take a look. I've seen it up here just a little while ago. It says watching from Australia. So hello down under, depending on where you're standing at in the world. All right, Sarah, let's see if I can find your question. I could have sworn you said something, but I'm not getting it. If you did ask a question, can you please ask it again? And she also said, thank you guys for your insight. No problem. You're welcome, Anne. All right,
Yeah.
Sarah, I don't feel that you're here. Layla, are you still with us? And if not, Layla, we're going to go to Jen. Jen Tepa. Tepa. It's either Tepa or Tepa. If I said it incorrectly, I apologize. All right. Let's see here. But yeah, dreams like that sometimes just give us that reassurance that what we're feeling in waking light definitely is occurring. We're processing, we're understanding, and it's deeper than what we are. Because sometimes we can doubt ourselves in waking light, but it's when we
Yeah,
take.
and
Mhm.
right, and the dream body is not restricted.
Right.
It's not restricted by distractions of the day.
Hmm.
And, the dream can bring forth these, I've got a feeling about this particular one little thing, and
Yeah.
it will bring the image forth. So I appreciate, how these snippets are coming forward. And I hope that we're just kind of enlightening it and developing it a little bit more so that you have control over your waking life. It's
Absolutely.
being helped by this dream. So, thank you. I mean, yeah, now you can kind of look at it a little closer,
All right.
a little more closely.
So, Jenna and Layla didn't step forward, so we do have another question. we have another dream here. This one is from Megan Thompson. Megan, hopefully you're still with us here. It says, I had a weird dream last night about my ex. It seemed like she was hurt and I was trying to comfort her. It was weird because she ended it and to I wanted to work it out. Wanted to work, sorry, but she didn't. I've been trying to move on and focus on myself. I'm confused why I dreamt that, especially because I haven't been able to remember my dreams in so long. Her best friend was also there, and I got a feeling she didn't care for me. In the dream, we got into an argument, and then she apologized. It was strange, and then I woke up.
Okay, the best friend, your ex's best friend was there, and you got a feeling that your ex's best friend didn't like you. Okay. Okay, and then she wanted to end it, but in the dream, she is being hurt, or she's feeling hurt, and you are trying to comfort her. So have you seen her recently? Okay, in the dream, okay. So have you seen her recently, or is there someone in waking life that reminds you of her? Or does she have a type of personality that was brought out in someone that you know in waking life? Because there's a conflict here. There is, I'm hurt and I'm comforting myself. I didn't want it to end, but it ended. And now am I hurt? Am I trying to comfort myself?
So no, I haven't. And I got a feeling her friend didn't like me in waking life.
Okay, so what was that you haven't seen her recently? No, I haven't. Okay, so you haven't seen her recently. And then in waking life, did you see her friend recently? And I got the feeling her friend didn't like me in waking life.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just trying to get in context of when you have seen these people, or is it someone that you're currently seeing in current waking life that reminds you of that personality of, that your ex had that type of personality that someone else is reminding you of? And then I'm wondering the best friend and your ex, and that's kind of a step removed. So how is that important that your ex's friend, that you have a feeling that they don't like you? This was ended over the phone. Oh, last time I saw her. No, we live an hour from each other. Okay. So, that's why I'm wondering, there's disconnect here, and it's such she wanted it ended, and I'm trying to move on, but I'm trying to comfort myself because you're comforting her. Last time I saw her was 2 weeks ago. So because I'm not getting, is there regret here, or is it something that the dream self is feeling, a regret and a wish for comfort and a wish of not hurting so much, because there's somehow a rejection. It's kind of like body double, that feeling of rejection. I'd like to comfort that person, but then they don't really like me. Or I'm trying to comfort myself, but there's something about myself that I don't really like. Do you see what I'm saying? It can be these people that come into our dreams can be parts of ourselves. And so when we talk to people, you know, if you talked to her 2 weeks ago, what is coming up after that? Does that kind of resonate? There's a dichotomy of feelings here.
All right. Says it was ended over communication issues. I wanted to work through it, and she just didn't think we could.
So, you know, now I'm wondering about that best friend.
Yeah.
There's something in between that's not being able to cross over, or there's something about it that doesn't like me.
I was picking up that Megan was feeling that the best friend is the reason the communication couldn't go further. Subconsciously, I feel as though Megan has these ideas that the best friend is keeping the ex from wanting to be with her. She says, I felt like she played a role in swaying and leaving me. That's what I was picking up.
And that's what you psychically picked up?
Yeah.
I'm looking at it as 3 people, 3 women, 3 whatever, you know.
Right.
And I'm looking at it as parts of ourselves. So in the dream language, in the dream world, I would see there's a disconnect. I can't seem to get close to my other self, you know. But yeah, I can see it that way as well. Oh.
Yeah, it was coming through as that the best friend played a part in the lacking of communication there.
Yeah. And and then it came forward in a dream.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, the dream self is possibly saying that could be the case.
I thought the dream self was psychically picking it up.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, boom, there it is. It's the best friend from the beginning.
Yeah, yeah. And it's that waking life feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out being processed as this. Now that the mind and the soul and the body is at rest, what's the real issue here?
Right.
And it turns out to be communication, the best friend, unable to work something out. And I see this conflict within myself if I look at it in a dream language kind of way.
Right.
I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely, Megan. Hopefully that helps you out there. All right.
I loved her picture, by the way.
Yes, yes.
You know, I'm saying if you have the hair, go for it.
Exactly. If you got it, flaunt it. Good. Do it.
Loved that green.
Absolutely. It was beautiful. All right. So Robin was our next in line, and she says, thank you for the insight. Absolutely. So psychically, you knew, and that's what I got. Like, it came through as psychic energy that you were capable of processing in the sleep state, because to me, it feels as though that you are a psychic on the rise, but in order for you to get your messages, your mind has to be quieted in order for you to accept what is being played to you. So that was definitely all right. So let's check out Robin. Robin was on here somewhere. Scroll up here and see if Robin has her dream. All right. Where's Margaritas? Emily. That's why it's easier when we call out your names just to to replace the dream that you may have had, because then I got to try to look through this and see if I can't find it. But I'm not seeing it because
Wow.
sometimes they get erased.
Wow.
Sometimes they get erased, and
As they go by.
yes, as they. Oh, Robin doesn't have a dream. Okay, that's fine, Robin. Let's go ahead and we're gonna take one more tonight, and then we will call it a night.
Okay.
Okay. And Nicole was the other, and I don't remember her having put her dream up. So, if Nicole, if you're listening, if we can't get Nicole, then it will be Margarita, which I already found hers. So, Nicole, if you are listening, go ahead and place your dream. And if you don't have a dream, that's okay. We'll go ahead and take Margaritas, and then we'll go from there. Nicole, are you still with us, sweetie? Emily, I think I fell asleep. Oops. Hey, that's the perfect time is to get to sleep then. All right, guys. So, all right, Margarita, we're going to go ahead and take yours, okay, honey? And sorry, Nicole, I didn't see your question on or your dream on here, so I'm sorry about that. All right, so Margarita says, "Hi, Journey and Marin. Many years ago in my sleep/dream, I'm not sure, but I could hear Syria Rollin. I think I said that right. Calling my name. She loves saying my name when we were in high school together. I wondered a lot of her if she was trying to tell me something."
Is Sierra Rollin alive or has she passed? And then if she's alive, when was the last time you saw her? So I'm going to speak generally. Sometimes we do have a connection with a best friend or someone that, sometimes that porthole opens up. You know how when you answer the phone or sometimes when I'm dialing, but sometimes when I'm sometimes when I'm trying to call, that's my age. Okay, I'm
Right.
trying to call somebody, and then I pick up the phone, and it's there on there. It's that sudden connection. So that's what I'm wondering if that's the situation. Is there a kind of a soulful connection? Do you hear? Was the first screen? You heard her say your name, and was it in a dream? So that first screen, Ryan, was she in a dream and she heard her name being called?
All right. Let me get back to it because thought she was going to write something there. All right, let's put that back up for you. There you go.
Okay. Many years ago, in my sleep, in my dream, I could hear her calling my name.
She was 9 months pregnant living in Arkansas when her and her boyfriend were murdered. Oh my
When
goodness.
her boyfriend was murdered, or
Her and her boyfriend.
oh dear. Okay. I'm very sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a psychic connection,
Yes.
you know. Um, and if it's in a loving way, it's being communicated as hello. Hold on. Let's see. So I'm sorry. So when did that happen, if I may ask?
Yeah, because there was a baby involved, but that psychic connection in which I was feeling came about as I'm still with you.
Yeah. Was this a long time ago? And what was that relationship like? Because I feel this.
So
Okay.
when I opened my eyes, I could still hear Sierra still calling my name. The, the case was unsolved, so I don't know if she was trying to tell me. She says it happened in 2009.
Oh, so that's a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear. That I can't really comment on if she's trying to say something or not, but I do sense, the dream world, they kind of, you get a visitation
Mm-hmm.
as a hello, you know? I mean, it's been a while. And so sometimes there's just a hello, a visitation. Um, I can't really say more than that. I'm
I got it
sorry.
more along the lines that she was just saying, I'm here, I'm safe, even though because she's thinking about it and wondering what if and wondering why she was there. And, there's a lot of what ifs. There's nothing to, you know, point any fingers, but Sierra's trying to say, I'm okay. And she says she just keeps repeating my name. That's because she's trying to allow you to know she's around you. I don't
Yeah,
feel like there's any real warnings or anything like that. It's just like, you know, I'm here. I'm with you. I'm staying with you. I'm saying your name because it makes us. I honestly feel like hearing the name actually is a comfort to you, and it puts a smile on your face to know she's calling out to you.
yeah. And in the beginning, she loved saying my name.
Right.
So there is that loving coming forward. Oh,
Yeah. Her
of
mother, Laura
course,
Fox, is still hurting a lot today.
of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is something that I'm
Because we were
sorry.
close friends. We were on the high school drill dance team together.
Yeah,
That's, you guys had a bond, you had a connection. She doesn't want to let you go, but she also wants you to know that you're safe and that to me, it's almost as though you questioned at one time, too. This is something psychically coming through from her, which is a message, which is to say, you questioned death. Was it the end, or was there something past the after? Was there truly an afterlife? And by her saying your name in the afterlife, she's reassuring you of that.
yeah,
Because I felt like there was a question in your mind as well. And I feel that's what I was picking up from her. She says her mother said that Sierra told her in a dream to let go, or else they're going to hurt/kill her. That to me sounds like trauma that she was feeling from the daughter. So there was actually no one really going to come after the mother. The
no,
mother was living the tragedy of what happened to her daughter.
yeah, yeah. I'm reading it that way as well too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because this definitely went to the psychic side of things on
yeah.
that.
It did.
That's because that was just a connection in which you have with her. And in a way, when mediums first wake up, and they start talking or hearing the other side, it's always a familiar to help you. So she's your familiar,
Yeah.
helping you slowly.
What I find interesting, the more I work with you, Ryan, or the more we work together, is how this line is because, like I said, I come from the dream language, the dream
Right.
world, and yet it kind of blends, doesn't it?
It does.
This
There's
is
always.
amazing. It's wonderful. You know, I usually, just because I talk with a lot of dream people,
Right.
we don't always come up with this kind of analysis or kind of
Right.
viewpoint, perspectives. And so this is very interesting to me. It's wonderful. So I appreciate that coming forward, and
She actually, Laura was threatened her while she went back to find evidence. Someone unscrewed the bolts of her truck tire. Um, I feel like there's still something missing there. I'm not sure how. I don't know, I feel like you've been misinformed on that, because I'm not quite seeing the undoing of the tire. But I can't tell you that it didn't happen, but I'm not seeing it. I don't see everything on the planet, because then that would make me psychic. That would make me God. And trust me, that's not the key here. Um,
well, yeah,
I
and
wish she could communicate more with me. Actually, Margarita, with time, with you hearing it, not just in the dream state, but waking up and continuously hearing it, that means that yes, it's going to happen more. And I would try to see if you can't, when you hear the name, communicate with her. Don't say hello or things like that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Don't do that. Just talk to her, because trying to, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
yeah,
It got to work. What you're going to do is have that conversation with me. How are you? I woke
and
up today feeling like this. Listen for the response.
and when the name is being called,
Mhm.
what is the feeling as the voice comes through? Is it a gentle? Is it a yelling? Is it a short? Is it smooth? That kind of thing.
She says, I did hear call for me at least twice more after I woke. Okay, so you're still in the beginning stages of waking up. So this is
I
this is
mean
a
that,
very
yeah.
important stage. It's a very
That's kind of
important
a
stage.
psychic, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a very important stage. You got to slowly walk into it. It's not something that's just some door slams open magically, you're psychic. It does not work that way. I've heard people tell stories. I laugh. I've been, doing this. I've been talking to psychics from all over the world, and it just doesn't happen that way. I mean, that's very, Warner Brothers Studio, Paramount Pictures like energy
Yeah.
there. But with this, she says it was her usually playfulness, always like when we were in school. And that's what she's trying to connect you with, what you're familiar with.
Yeah, yeah. We go back into what we are in.
Mhm.
Okay, so how do I explain that? I think I mentioned it once when, I mean, I'm a century old. So when I pass, I will come back as a 20-year-old. No, I will, in my mind, you come back as in, okay, you come back as you are feeling. So I don't feel like I'm 100 years old. I feel like whatever, 30s or 40s. And so that's kind of how we come back in dreams, if that makes sense. Okay,
Absolutely.
that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. She said, okay, yep, we said that part. Okay.
Okay.
Well, Margarita, know that this is a connection to your friend. She's trying to be your familiar. She's trying to help you wake with your new, your new given gift. And it will take time for it to hear, I would say, more full sentences other than your name. But give it time. Don't force it to happen. Work with it though. Like I said, talk to her. and see what bits you can get. And I would say keep a notepad, a journal, or something with you to kind of write down what she's saying to you. It'll help. But the best part of this is in the dream state, when she's calling to you before you wake, talk to her there. It's going to be easier to communicate there first before in waking life, because you'll be more relaxed. Your mind won't be focused on 1,000 things. So thank you, Margarita, for your question tonight. All right, we're going to go ahead and take one more. We're going to throw one more out there, guys.
Okay.
All right, so we had another question. The question was from Angel Marie. Let's see, I had it here just a second ago, and then I scrolled down too far. All right. So, Angel Marine. Hello, my husband recently passed away. I keep searching for him in my dreams every night. He seems to run away from me every time, doesn't want to be found. I ask other people in the dream where he is at. They tell me he is not there. Someone pretending to be him. That is clearly not him. He didn't want nothing to do with me in my dreams. This was not how he was when he was alive. He'd never leave my side unless he had to. It's breaking my heart. And then she says, I'm sorry. I think that what you're doing is fantastic. I try to analyze dreams. It's really hard to.
Oh.
But I'll put this back up for you.
Okay, thank you. So he passed recently. Wow. Okay. I feel a lot about this because there are people that have passed in my life, and I wish they would come back and say hi, and they haven't, they don't come back. So, sometimes I wonder, and I know I've mentioned this in a previous show. Sometimes I wonder if I love that person so much that I'm not ready for them to come back. I want to be them. I want to be with them so much. I want that to happen so much that I'm trying too hard, or if they appear, I will be so. I'll go through the sorrow again. And sometimes I wonder if my loved one doesn't come back yet, until I'm a little bit more open, and that I can accept that when they come back, I will be relaxed and just feel joy. Sometimes I feel so much pain that person is no longer physically there with me, that I can't stand it. I don't know how to explain this. I don't know if I could verbalize this correctly. Okay, so I ask other people in a dream where they tell me and he's not there, or someone pretending to be him that is clearly not him. It's not that he doesn't want to have anything to do with you in your dreams. I'm sensing that. But what I'm feeling such sadness right now that if he comes back, how will that feel? Will the pain be felt all over again? And I'm just wondering if that that the heart needs to heal a little bit more, and then this person will come back, because I'm sensing a really powerful connection that you had with your husband, a really powerful soul connection that, again, and again, this is me saying, I'm wondering if he comes back, would it be truly, truly hurtful all over again? Does that make sense? Because it's clearly not him. There's someone else pretending to be him. And I'm just wondering if it's that desire, please come back to me. And okay, I'm getting like kind of, is that kind of making sense?
Right. Well, the thing about it is that she feels as though that he's playing hide and seek, but the person in the dream, in which is not the husband, but the husband is. I do feel like there is a message through this. Psychically, I picked up that the imitation of the person that's betraying the husband is saying that it's not time to see me, it's time for you to heal, and when you heal, I will come to you. But until that heart is, you're never gonna like lose this person. You're always gonna have that place in your heart for them. There's always gonna be that tender spot. But he wants you to get to a point where you feel more comfortable. Know that you're not deserted, but until you heal a little bit more emotionally, he cannot bring himself to you because he cannot show himself, because that pain stays. It doesn't heal. So it's a wound.
That's what I'm trying to say. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I must be getting really tired.
Yeah.
Because
it's retrograde too, so communication.
Oh, okay.
And it's Mercury, so it's definitely connected to work.
Oh dear.
But
that's exactly what I'm sensing. Is sometimes our heart is so overwhelmed that when that image, when they come back in our dreams, oh, that is really tough. And so, maybe some more time needs to pass.
That's what I got. It was
and our heart needs to get a little stronger. And, maybe instead of that intense desire, putting out that desire, other things are starting to come in. Other pretending stuff is, it's like, I'm working on it. But no, he's not there. So this is going to take some time for him to appear.
Honestly, I felt as though it was a year of healing. He wants her to have a year of healing. It's old. She needs to allow herself to. You don't have to necessarily let go, but you have to let the pain go away. There's family to worry about, to be there with, but the family that you need to be strong for is being strong for you right now. So allow yourself to understand that he's by your side and will come to you as soon as you can get to the right place and the right space in your heart.
Yeah, there's a part of me that always felt that that's not fair.
It's not fair.
I love this person so much. Yeah. What is, why?
Exactly. It's like,
fair. Wow. But honestly, I get it. And it's so not fair. But oh my gosh, that deep connection, it can, I would just melt. And when this, my father, who had passed, he didn't come, and it's like, wait a minute, we were the closest thing ever. Why? Where are you?
Yeah, why would you separate like that?
Honestly. And when I was finally able to bring it down, or not bring it down, but I had to go through some healing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he showed up, and I just melted into his arms in the dream.
Right.
And it was time for him to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I was distracted by something. And I turned back and he was gone. And that was the dream, just saying, hi, I love you. Everything's fine. I have to go now. And
Right.
I just don't want you to experience that ripping apart again.
Right.
I disappear. So, for me, it was, I get it,
Right.
not fair.
Right.
Didn't like it, but I got to see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I hope that helped.
this love, he does love you. He does care for you.
Yeah.
He's ready to connect with you, but you've got to heal to that point. And that comes with mediumship too. I tell people, when someone passes, when you go to do a mediumship, if someone comes to you and the energy is raw, it just happens within the last, I would say, I will never connect. And this is something that I've learned, is you never connect with a spirit that's just crossed. You have to give it its time to allow the spirit to cross over and to have the time to come back to be able to visit us. Because if we do it too soon and we connect to that spirit too soon, the spirit can be confused. Am I alive or am I dead? How can you hear me? Am I dreaming?
Yeah, yeah.
So then they believe that they're in a dream, and now they're trying to talk to that same, and they won't leave that messenger alone, because I can talk on this phone, but this phone doesn't work. But I can talk on this phone. It's live. It keeps communicating with me. I've had to tell spirits that they have passed, and the light that in which surrounds them, they need to walk into. They've run from it. They didn't know what it was. They were scared of it. I can't see anything past it. Well, you can't see anything on this side. You have to walk into it to see and connect to the other side. So it's, if you talk to a spirit too soon, it could cause damage and actually throws things off.
And that's why in a lot of belief systems,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of cultures, there is a transitional period.
Yes.
In Buddhism and in Christianity, or in whatever faith, there is a transition, and that's interesting, and it's across all belief systems.
Absolutely.
That happens. So yeah.
In mine, I like to let the spirit be crossed over for a year before we connect. Not only does it give the spirit the time to be able to use the ability to come back, but it also gives the person in which their time to have somewhat of a healing if they don't heal 100%. So when they get the reading and they get that chance to talk to that spirit, that it's good. And that you can connect to the spirit truly and know that this is who you're talking to as well, because you can connect to other things, those tricksters out there that try to be, and they'll say some basic things and kind of feel that person out as the medium's trying to connect. I've seen that happen. It's actually I've had that tried to happen to me, and I was like, hang on. They're like, what's the matter? And I'm like, this is not who you think it is. I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, and this is interesting that this can't be proven. It's the invisible world,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow we know this.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow it's, how do you explain this scientifically, or in a book, or in a whatever? It rings true. I can't say how I know this, but it just, in my experience, in my millions of years of experience of people, crossing over,
Yes.
and seeing it and feeling it, it just what can I say? It just
Right.
is. And this is where a lot of the mythologies come up, a lot of the belief systems,
Mm-hmm.
um, and there's a quote that uh, Carl Jung
Yeah.
said, the definition of the religious function is the art of learning new ways to see and to hear.
Right.
So, it's just expanding that way of looking at things, of experiencing things.
Yes.
I just have a problem with it when someone is telling me, you can't believe that way, you have to believe the way I believe. You know what I mean? That's where,
Yes.
no, 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 no. But
Right.
to that helps me to hear someone and that says, you know what, I feel this way, I believe this way, blah blah blah. It helps me to listen to that perspective, and just to listen to it. Doesn't have to be right or wrong for me, but it's interesting how the belief systems are blended and
Mm.
how these things are ringing true. Yeah, the spirit needs time to cross, you know.
Right. Well, Barbara, she was just saying, she goes, how do you know when, if someone crosses over, can they come back? And do we know? I lost my husband very recently. So, when I see spirit and I know the crossing over has occurred, um, when a spirit comes and they're still in their physical form, you still see the apparition of the person of who they once were. But when they cross over, when they come back as energy. The only reason that they come back, and that any reason a ghost or an apparition appears, is because it's familiar to you, or it's familiar to the situation, so that you would recognize what it is. Because if it came back as just energy, you would be like, why are all those lights there? That this doesn't make sense. Why is
Yeah,
there a floating ball of light? Because we don't understand it, but we wouldn't recognize it either. So it pulls the energy together in order to form something. Because someone told me something, it was really funny that I mentioned it, but she's like, okay. She goes, when we go to heaven, we still look like ourselves. I said, so if I were 500 pounds and I passed, I'm going to come back as a 500-pound angel? Seriously? She's like, you would be beautiful. I said, I'm gorgeous now. This doesn't make sense. I
yeah,
was like, this that is this level. When you leave this level and go, the only thing you're taking with you is experience, the people you met, and you bring it. People call it heaven, other people call it other things. I mention it many times. I call it the collective, because it's a collective.
nirvana. Yeah,
Yeah, Nirvana. There's so many things to call it, but heaven's one of the biggest ones that they use out there. But we all come together. We don't hate each other. We learn from each other's experiences, to the point where some of us come back and we relive to live that experience. That is so interesting. I wonder what it's like. And then boom, we're here, and like somebody's like, oh, well, God's punishing me. No, we got free will.
no, yeah, no, God does not do
No, not
that.
that.
Yikes.
They
Not the God
make
that I
God
know.
out to be like this. Sometimes when I look at it, they're like, the devil does all these bad things, but then they got God, and they're like, well, he punishes you for this, he punishes you for that, he punishes. I'm like, who's worse? Like, you
Yeah,
guys are not making him sound very good, or her, or what. And this is just, you get basic information about this one, and then this one does all the punishing. Like, this doesn't sound right. So when I went further into my studies, I learned that a lot of things, people just misinterpret a lot of stuff. And I've also learned that every one religion has a little piece of the real puzzle.
yeah, yeah. It's different ways of seeing and hearing. And you know, um, oh, I just spaced out.
I love it when I do that.
oh my gosh, I had, I just think about just the different myths and cultures and different ways of looking at these things. And I continue to say that when someone passes,
Mhm.
they're pure love. And like you say, energy,
Yes,
um, but it's the pureness of it, because there's no ego self. It's kind
exactly.
of like the way we interpret um, the spiritual, is we bring in our own ego, and we kind of have to put that aside and know that it just is.
Hmm.
It's really a lot of love.
It's the
Um,
nirvana that we all strive to get to,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we did.
and
We're in
it,
here to enjoy, but we get so because of the way the world is, we don't see the joys.
yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a person I know that I knew.
Mhm.
Um, she was surprised that she died,
Right?
and it was like I was advising,
Yeah.
this person just realized that they died and they're still here. So we actually did a ceremony
Hmm.
to help. Yes,
Right.
you have died, and now let us send you off with love. You know, take your time. Take your time, because I mean it was an illness, but they didn't think they were going to die. And
Right.
so that's why it was surprising, and they were still, here,
Trying to hold
here.
on. Yeah.
And so we just said, take your time, let's open the portal, and sending off with love, and then they left. So how do you know that?
Hmm.
I can't say how you know that, but you know that.
Right. I
So
always feel a warmness of the crossing over. I can
it's
feel
that,
like little particles of light when it
yes,
happens.
it's a ah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Moment. Hmm.
And yeah. And
I
that's just
light
being
a
open
I light a
minded.
tea candle every day for those spirits that are, let's say, they're stuck or they got trapped by mediumship. That phone, they can talk on that phone and communicate to that. And I always light a candle for those that says, "Follow the light. The light
Yeah.
will take you where you need to be."
Yeah.
And I do that every day. It's a tea candle. Now, if I have to go on vacation or get away for a little while, I light a 7-day candle and they can follow that light. But
Okay.
so that way I got a little bit of time to myself. But every time I walk into my office, I light a tea candle and I tell the spirits, those who want to cross over that have lost their way, this is the way through the door.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so it's a good way to start the day. It makes you feel good inside too. I get a lot of blessings from doing the readings and talking with you and talking with the other girls that I have here. And now I'm getting a few guys to come on here too, so I'm not the only boy.
All
Um,
right.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but the energy is, it's a blessing because we get to touch these people's lives. We get to be a part of their life that other people just don't pay attention to,
Yeah.
and watch these things unravel and things come together for them. It's just a blessing in many ways.
And trying to give the reassurance that
Yes.
it's love. If it feels something other than that, then that's kind of a
Yeah.
light. Wait a minute. Um, and because there's a lot of sensationalism out there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of, movie stuff, and there's a lot of other beliefs that are dark, and
Right.
it just no, no. It's
Right.
gentle. It's gentle.
Right.
So yeah, I feel like we got those kind of uh, calls today, or
Yeah.
yeah,
We had some beautiful dreams tonight, and I hope you guys follow us again next Thursday with Marin. We'll be doing some more dream interpretations, and guys, journal, write them down. So when you guys come to talk to us, it's fresh and it's in front of you and it's raw. That's the best way.
Thank you so much.
Marin, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Guys, don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. We're going to do dream interpretations here.
It's retrograde.
Exactly. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. We're going to be doing readings with myself, Journey Ryan, Gifts of Faith, and Trinity Black. Guys, I did ask Marin. She has another engagement to be at, so maybe next time. But it's always fun when she's on board. And Marin, it's been a beautiful night. I loved it. And thank you for coming. And we will see you again next Thursday night.
My pleasure. I look forward.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. I want to say thank you to everyone who was here tonight. You guys enjoy your evenings. Write down them dreams. Check us out next Thursday with Dream Interpretations with Marin and Journey Ryan. Also, check us out tomorrow night. It's myself, Gifts of Faith, and Trinity Black. Until then, have a beautiful evening.